Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the previous class, we talked about semantics, the two types of meaning, if you remember, and you must remember, I assume. We talked about the two types of meaning, denotative meaning or conceptual meaning, and associative meaning or connotative meaning. Let's talk about, okay, we talked about semantic features as well, componential analysis. Sorry. Okay. Today we are going to talk about semantic roles, right? Remember, words are not only the containers of meanings. Words are not only the containers of meanings, rather they perform certain roles in sentences. How? Let me write a simple example. Whose name should I mention? Mhm. Daud, sorry, Daud kicked the ball, right? And who else do we have here? Mabra watched the news, right? If you look at these examples, here we have got Daud, which is the subject of the sentence. Then we have got a verb, and we have got the ball, which is the object, right? But if you see in this example, Daud is the doer, right? Daud is the doer, the performer of an action, the doer of an action. And this is something which is acted upon. The ball is something which is acted upon, right? In the same way, Mabra here is the doer of the action, while news is something which is involved in this action. And we have got yesterday, which also shows some time, right? It means that if we look at words, they do not just convey certain meaning, rather words perform certain roles in sentences. The role is here that of a doer, right? It is the role of an object. Here again, a doer, an entity which is involved in an action, and it shows us the time, right? So these are called, this is what we call a semantic role. Okay, semantic role, remember, is also known, semantic roles are also known as thematic role. Thematic roles. Now, some basic semantic roles include agent and theme, instrument and experiencer, location, source, and goal, and some others we have such as you may say purpose, time. Okay, many others are there, and then we have got theta role, but we'll talk about only these few which are mentioned here, and we'll talk about purpose and time as well. Yes, starting with agent. Agent means entity. Yeah, they have given the definition. Agent means the entity that performs an action. The entity that performs an action. Should I read the definition here?
Yes, sir.
Agent is the
No,
entity
sir, it's mentioned.
that
Book, sir.
performs an action, right? Look at the example I have written above. Look at this example. Daud kicked the ball. So, who is the performer of the action here?
Do he.
Doubt, sir.
Dawood. So in this example, Dawood is the agent, right? Mabra watched the news yesterday. So who is the doer of the action? Come on.
Mabra.
Mabra is the doer of the action. So Mabra is the agent here in this example, right? Okay. Uh, this is what we mean by agent. It's very simple. There is no complexity in agent. Complexity will arrive when we will move to experiencer. Theme, ये आपका वो लिटरेचर वाला थीम नहीं है, राइट? इट्स अ लिंग्विस्टिक थीम, यू मे से. Theme means the entity that is involved in or affected by the action. The entity which is involved in an action or which is affected by an action, right? Let me better highlight it. Okay. Remember, the theme is also known as called, this is also known as patient sometimes. Theme or patient, right? Now, entity means, sorry, theme means the entity which is involved in an action or which is affected by an action. Now, if we look at the examples I have stated above, Mabra watched the news. Dawood kicked the ball. Look at the ball, it is directly affected by the action of kicking. Isn't it so? The ball is directly affected, right?
Yes, sir.
So this the ball here is actually the theme, or you may call it patient as well. It's the patient or it's the theme, right? It's the theme. Uh, Here we have got the news. If you can see, Mabra watched the news. Now, if we look at the news is not directly affected, rather, it is involved. You see here, either involved or affected. If you look at the first example, so the ball is actually directly affected when Daud kicked the ball. So the ball moved from one place to another. Directly affect हो गया ना, right? But if you look at the news, तो मबरा न्यूज देखे या ना देखे, न्यूज पर कोई असर पड़ेगा? नहीं पड़ेगा ना
No,
न्यूज
sir.
पर, राइट? अब बॉल पर असर पड़ेगा. इफ दाऊद किक्स द बॉल, द बॉल विल गेट इफेक्टेड, right? But whether or not Mabra watches the news, the news will remain unaffected, right? It means that the news are involved in this action, involved, not affected. So that is what we mean by these two terms. The entity, sorry, theme actually means the entity which is either involved in an action or which is affected by an action, right? So that is what we call theme, or that is what we call patient. Both of the names may be used. Let's,
Excuse me, sir.
yes.
और सब्जेक्ट और
सर
ऑब्जेक्ट।
न्यूज का इफेक्ट तो पड़ सकता है ना मबरा पे से?
मबरा पे तो पढ़ सकता है, बट न्यूज पे तो असर नहीं पड़ सकता ना. इफ आई से, या if you reverse this example and you say the news, the news influenced Mabra, then that is fine. Mabra is directly affected by the news. क्यों? क्योंकि शायद न्यूज़ से पहले मबरा का ये ख्याल था कि नवाज शरीफ साहब अच्छे, और शायद न्यूज़ देखने के बाद मबरा ये नारा लगाए कि गो नवाज गो, right? Sorry, I'm an apolitical person, this was just an example, right? But news may affect Mabra, but Mabra cannot affect news, remember, until and unless Mabra is a news anchor person. Okay, so if she's just, as long as she's just a watcher, she cannot affect the news. Okay, look at these examples.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes,
Is team, sir, team and fashion. These are same, sir.
they're the same. Theme and patient, they're the same,
Okay.
right? Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you,
सर
sir.
वी मे कॉल
Simon,
ऑब्जेक्ट,
G.
वी मे कॉल हिम ऑब्जेक्ट सर थीम और पेशेंट।
In syntax we call it object, right? And in semantics we call it theme or patient, right?
ओके सर।
Okay. So there is a question in the chat box by Sundar Sali. Sir, is semantic role in functional linguistics same in some way because both exactly they are same, they are similar in some way, not completely. I really appreciate the point you have made here. Uh, Look at these examples. The boy kicked the ball. What is the boy? Let me not ask who is the boy, because if I say who, then it can be Hamidur Rahman, it can be Dawood, it can be someone else. If I say what is the boy, what will be your answer?
Human.
Come on, it's the
Agent, sir.
agent. It's the agent,
Agent,
right?
sir.
Yeah. What's the
It's the
ball?
doer of an action, sir.
Yeah. What's the ball?
It's the
The
receiver, sir.
person,
It's
team, sir.
the
Team, sir.
patient, the team,
Team.
sir.
It's the theme. It's the
Yes, sir.
theme, right? What's
Team.
okay? The wind blew the ball away. What's the wind? The doer of the action,
Agent.
right?
Yes, sir.
So
Agent,
it's
sir.
the
Agent.
agent, it's the agent, and the ball is actually the theme or the patient.
Teams.
Similarly, the car
Team.
ran over the ball.
Yes.
The car ran over the
Yes, sir.
ball. So a car here is the agent, and
Agent.
since ball is affected, so ball is the theme, right? The dog caught the ball.
Team.
Dog is the agent, while the ball is theme, right, or patient. Similarly, the dog chased the boy, so the dog here is the agent, while the boy is
Okay.
the theme. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Excuse me, sir. Again, question, sir.
Yes.
Sir, any difference between, sir, we can say the fashion, theme, and object, sir?
Uh, Object is actually
Thank you,
taken
sir.
as the object is actually taken as the theme or is the patient, right? Object is taken as the theme or is the
Yes,
patient,
sir.
right? But
So, sir, it is an object, sir.
it's an
The
object basically, but we need not to call it an object. आप इसको object नहीं कह सकते.
okay, sir. Okay, sir.
And right, in semantics you have to call it a theme or a patient. Got it?
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, welcome. Here is, human actions are physical. Actions can be physical, or let me better pick up the typewriter. Two types of action, right? The first one is material actions, or you may say physical actions, and the second one is mental actions. Do you know what is meant by mental actions?
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Static, which is
in which
related to our thinking,
we
sir.
do not.
Plannings, etc., sir.
Okay, good. Cognition, perception, and affection. What is meant by cognition?
Related to mental, sir.
Exactly. Cognition means
Sir.
human
Logical,
mind.
sir.
When we say cognitive ability, we actually mean mental ability. When we say cognitive process, we actually mean mental process, right? So cognition is related to human mind. Cognition is related to what? It's related to human mind. Okay.
Mind.
So we have got cognitive action. Mental actions are of three types: cognitive actions, perceptive actions, and affective actions. Cognition, for example, if I say I thought, uh, forget about I, let's suppose if I say, okay, Hamza understood it, right? Alishba got it, right? So these are, the mental processes, cognitive processes or cognitive actions. When I say I thought, तो मैंने कोई physical काम किया? Did I kick a ball? No. When I kick a ball, I move my body, right? But when I say I thought or I think, so while thinking, we do not move our body, we do not make use of our body organs, we just make use of our mind. We make the use of our mind, right? I thought, I understood it, I got it, right? I got confused, right? So this sort of actions are called cognitive actions. Then we have got perception. Perception means how do we perceive things? We perceive things with help of our five senses,
Perception, yes, sir.
right? We perceive things like sense of sight, sense of smell. What other senses we have? Come on.
Sense of
Sense of touch, sense of
Sense of
Sense of
hearing,
touch.
sir.
taste, touch, and sense of hearing,
Yeah.
right? We perceive things with the help of these five senses. But remember, perception is also a kind of mental action. A kind of mental action, because when I kicked a ball, I simply kick a ball. When I see a bird, right? So we perceive something. You are studying technology, IT, information technology in this semester, isn't it so?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. Do you know about input and output devices? Input and output devices.
Yes, sir.
You know about them?
Yes,
Very
yes,
good.
sir.
Okay. So simply here we have got our processor, cognitive processes. Here we have got our processor. When we talk about cognition, it involves our processor. When we talk about these five senses, perception, they involve our input devices. They are the human input devices. We insert images into our hard drive, into our hard disk, which is our mind. We insert images with the help of our sight, images and video. Like this is our camera, you may say this is our camera, right? Sense of sight, our eyes. Smell, this is what a computer is lacking. Computer में smell के लिए, taste के लिए कोई नहीं है, कोई input device नहीं है. We have got this input device, sense of smell, right? Our nose. So we insert the smell of something into our mind, right? हमें फौरन पता चल जाता है कि ये जस्मीन का स्मेल है, रोज का स्मेल है, गंदा स्मेल है, या कोई किस तरह का स्मेल है, right? Taste, chicken ka taste hai. Is this the taste of a chicken, fish, or milk, or whatever kind of taste that is? But we actually insert that taste into our mind through this input device, which is our tongue, right? So sense of taste, sense of touch, our skin, entire skin, if it is hot, if it is cold, if something is rigid, if something is soft, right? Whatever kind of feeling we come across, that is what we come across with the help of our sense of touch, right? That is a perception actually. And sense of hearing, our two microphones, our ears, right? So perception, we perceive things with the help of our five senses. If I say, tell me some names from your class.
जी सर.
uh Nafis and, sorry, Nazif saw a bird. Nazif saw a bird. And do you have Munazza in the class? Munazza.
No sir.
No, sir.
Okay. Tell me any name.
Momina.
Okay. Momina heard a strange voice. Momina heard a strange voice. Now, if we look at these two examples, okay, I'm coming to these examples later on to prove that they are experiencer. Nazif saw a bird. What is meant by what is see when someone sees something, that person makes the use of sense of sight. Sense of sight का इस्तेमाल करता है ना, eyes का इस्तेमाल करता है. It means the person perceived a bird, right? Momina heard a strange voice. Momina perceived some voice using her sense of hearing. Got it? And
Yes,
finally,
sir.
we have got
Yes, sir.
affection. We have got affection. Affection means all those actions which we associate with, you may say that stupid piece of flesh in our body, hurt. I'm sorry. All the actions we associate with our heart, they are called affections. Affections. Like when we feel something, he felt, he liked, he loved, he adored, right? So feelings, simply feelings. These are our thoughts, these are our perceptions, and these are our feelings. Our feelings, right? So this is what we cognition, we associate cognition with our mind, thoughts, right? When we talk about perception, so we associate perceptions with our five senses, right? Like our eyes, our nose, our tongue, our skin, and our ears. And when we talk about affection, so we what comes to our mind is actually our heart, right? Now, if I say for example, if I say Rida liked the new room, right? And Zahid loves, for example, Zahid loves his new clothes. Zahid loves his new clothes, right? Now, if we look at both these examples, like and love, they're actually they associated with our affection, they're associated with our heart, right? Now, coming to our basic point is experiencer. Experiencer. Experiencer is actually an entity who performs some physical action, right? Uh, Let me write here. It is a typing. Experiencer is the entity who performs some mental action. Who performs some mental action, right? How? And what's the difference between mental and physical action? If you look at all these examples, the boy kicked the ball, the wind blew the ball away, the car ran over the tree, the dog caught the ball, right? The dog chased the boy. If we look at all these examples, all of them are agents. You see, the boy, the wind, the car, the dog, and the dog, they are agents. But if we look at these examples, Hamza understood it, Alishba got it, Nafis saw a bird, Momina heard a strange voice, Rida liked the new room, Zahid loves his new clothes. If you look at all these examples, so the doers of all these sentences or the doers of all these actions, they are not agents. Why? Because they do not perform some physical actions, rather they perform some mental action. Some mental action, either the action of cognition, the action of perception, or the action of affection, right? When we say Hamza understood it, Nazif saw a bird, uh, Mumina heard a strange voice. तो इधर मुमिना, नजीफ, हमजा, रिदा, इन्होंने कोई और रिदा liked the new room, तो रिदा ने कोई physical activity तो नहीं की ना, right? Rida did not kick a ball. Rida did not run over the ball, right? Rida did not catch the ball. Rather, Rida performed some mental action. She just liked the new room. So it means she is the experiencer here, not the agent. We're left with 1 minute only, rather 30 seconds. So please join the video Sam session again. We're 36.
Okay.
Let's wait for the 36 people in the new session. See you.